Hello and welcome. I'm a man called Jay, and I want to tell you a story of brave men and women who fought and resisted colonialism in Africa. You might have heard stories from West Africa, North Africa, from the Horn of Africa, Thousand Africa, but probably you have not heard stories from East Africa. Now, the focus is on East Africa. To be specific, Uganda. Let me take you to Western Uganda. In Western Uganda, there was a kingdom called Bunyoro-Kitara, and it was ruled by a king called Kabalega. The Bunyoro called Omukama. Omukama means king. And also, Kabaleega is known as Entale Bunyoro, the lion of Bunyoro-Kitara Kingdom. And yes, he was. So why do we call him Entale Bunyoro? Because the man was brave, he was fearless, and he was a military genius. Yes, we will come to that later. Now, Bunyoro-Kitara was a very rich country. It traded in fish, it traded salt, it traded in ivory, and it traded in iron. Yes. So, you can see Bunyoro was rich. And it was ruled by Omukama Kabalega, or King Kabalega Entale Bunyoro. Our history has been distorted because the person who writes the history is always the victor. Bear that in mind. Let me go back to Bunyoro-Kitara Kingdom. Bunyoro-Kitara Kingdom in 1800s, it had a population of 2.5 million people. Now we will come to the end of the story. We are going to see whether that 2.5 million people remains or increased or decreased. We will come back to that. Now you see, the British, or the English people as we know them, they are very, very, very arrogant. And that arrogancy caused a lot of misery and a lot of suffering and a lot of wars. This is how people might say it. The British come into Africa. They actually believe they can come in and find these people who are savages, people who have got no hope, who have got basically nothing, no future at all. But they made a mistake. When they came, they actually believed that they can come and bulldoze everybody, of which they did at some point with their big guns. But the Africans did not go down without a fight. Now, King Kabalega, or King Kabalega, is the king who never entertained nonsense, who never entertained BS. I want to keep my language very sweet here. I know I can use a colorful language to describe what King Kabalega was. Now, our history is very complicated. When the British came in, they actually believed that in Bunyoro-Kitara Kingdom, they will find famine, they will find people disorganized, they will find basically people who has got no future at all. That's another mistake that they made. When they came in, Bunyoro-Kitara Kingdom was organized, there was no famine, people did not die of hunger, they had an army. So, now, the British come in, they start ordering Omukama Kabalega. Now Kabalega, he had a motto. His motto was conquer or die. Instead of just surrendering and bowing to somebody else in his own country, he said he would rather die. And actually he fought, and by the time he died, he didn't surrender to no one. So anyway, how did it go then? So the British gave orders to Kabaleega. They asked him to kill the elephants and give the ivories to the Queen here in England, and give salt to Buganda. So Kabaleega, he could not understand why he should do that and on what terms. But of course, with the arrogancy of the British, they told him that if you do not do what we are telling you to do, there will be war. Kabaleega said, what? Really? You come into my country and you want to give me orders? I will choose war and I will fight you. So the man he fought was Samuel Baker and Emin Pasha. Samuel Baker and Emin Pasha. They could not believe that Kabaleega chose to fight instead of surrendering to whatever they were saying. So Emin Pasha and Samuel Baker, they organized the colonial armies from India, from Egypt, and wherever they could get the colonial army to come and fight Bunyoro-Kitara Kingdom. At the same time, King Kabaleega assembled his army, an army called Abarusura, with spears and shields. Men, they fought for 6 years, and Kabaleega, he kicked the British backside very well until they could not actually believe that this man here, he can organize the army, he can attack, and he can also kill our soldiers. Now, so what they did, the British, we know that wherever they go, they will find the weakest among the group and collaborate with them. So, and this led to the capture of King Kabaleega. Kabaleega was not defeated by means of fighting of combat to combat. He was betrayed by the people fighting along, or the Ugandans fighting along the British. So that's how he became to be captured. But even during his capture, he was exiled to the Sychelles in the Indian Ocean. He was there for 23 years, but he never surrendered. He actually believed in his motto of conquer or die. So that's why Kabaleega is known to be a hero in East Africa. And this is the reason why we are commemorating the death of Kabaleega after 100 years. And in so doing, I want to commemorate Kabaleega in style. I have created some garments, not by myself, of course. I always work with the team here. I work with teams. The lady who designed these patterns is Jamaican, very good in textiles. So we came up with an idea. She did her research. She read about King Kabaleega, and she came out with these designs. But the concept, I delivered the concept to this lady. So she came up with very beautiful garments. So these garments can be bought in meters, or you can just buy raw material and make your own garments. Yeah. Okay. So I'm coming to an end of the program of this. This is a very, very short program, but I want to tell you that we are very excited. In the coming few weeks, we are going to have the direct descendants of Kabalega. Can you imagine 2 of them? They will be here in the studio with me and with others. If you want to join us, please join us. We will be live on YouTube and Facebook. Let us celebrate Kabalega in a big way. I can't say so much, but until then, let me say ciao. But stay tuned. But remember, I said in the beginning of the program, I said Bunyoro-Kitara had a population of 2.5 million people. By the end of the war, Bunyoro-Kitara Kingdom had lost 2.4 million. That means we were left with 100,000 in population. There is a lot of stories have been told of other atrocities committed somewhere else in the world, but our story has never really been told. The African story, we have lost so many people at the hands of the British or the hands of Europeans. In Congo, we lost 10 million Congolese. In South Africa, I don't know how many died. In Tanzania, in Kenya, West Africa, oh God. Look, we need to start commemorating our dead. So, for now, let me say, stay tuned. Until then, I will see you again.